I am so excited and so nervous. So I have picked out two pieces.
Yes.
First, I
Yes.
want to try out the very beginning of I'm So Sick by Flyleaf
Yes.
because I know that that's a slightly different kind of scream. And then I want to go into Circle With Me by Spirit Box.
Yes.
So let's start out with vocal warm-ups, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it.
So my voice is, I'm not projecting, just kind of doing this. You kind of want to, you want it to be not your lowest voice, but a low voice so that you feel it resonating in your chest. Can you do that?
Okay. Feeling like low resonant voice in my chest, maybe even lower. Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit in my chest a little bit more.
You want to feel, you don't want to feel in your throat. You want to feel it in your chest. You want to feel your chest.
Okay.
The way that you would move into a scream, right, is you'd come down, you get to the spot, right, and then you would go, Did you feel that gravel that you just did right there? Just a quick side note. You mentioned Chris Lipe. I don't know exactly how to say his name.
I don't know how to say his name either.
But what I love about his videos is that he cracks his voice throughout the entire video. He unashamedly just goes, just makes funny sounds. But that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So for those of you judging us, so yeah. So, like Batman voice?
I'm Batman.
Right.
Batman.
Batman.
Batman. Batman. I sound like a small child trying to imitate you.
Oh.
Batman.
And once you get this sound, like Macho Man Randy Savage, sound, right?
Cream of the crop rises
Cream
to
of
the
the
top.
crop. And then now deep announcer voice, right? Like this Saturday.
In a world. In a world. This Saturday.
Yes.
This Saturday. This
in
Saturday.
a world.
In
The way that you turn the into a scream is you slowly apply the resistance in your throat, because the technique comes from the throat. Apply the resistance. Don't force it. Just slowly till it becomes literally like more gravelly. So, type of thing.
And I can't start with a glottal.
No.
Yeah. That feels pretty open.
That's good.
That feels
That's
pretty
good.
open.
That's great. That was actually really good.
Okay.
Yes.
It feels constricted at the throat. How do you open it up?
So
with an
finding that constriction is what you want to find first,
okay.
Right? Because you want to recognize it, right? Because eventually, what's going to happen is you start here. So when we were chatting before the stream, you were doing accents, right? You were
Randy Savage.
You're being yourself. You did like a French one, you did like a Russian one type of thing. And when I would tell people how, because I like doing accents too for fun. But when I tell people how to do accents, they're like, how do you do that? How do you do that accent? I go, well, my trick to do an accent is to make fun of it. Because unless you like give it your all in like trying your best to sound a certain way, no one's gonna believe you.
I feel like that's the best I've done it so far.
That was great.
Okay.
That was fantastic. That was really good. Okay. So the same. So with when it comes to the death metals or just the metal vocals in general, try to make fun of it, right?
Yeah. Okay.
When you're speaking a different language, you're like, excusez-moi, monsieur, des sons, s'il vous plaît, right? Like you're like, oh, he's so French. You know what I mean? But the more you do it, the more like believable it sounds. So the same thing with the death metal vocals, right? You want it to be like a you don't want to go,
which is where
right?
I'm starting it. Yeah.
Right. You want it to be, I'm right here. And then I got the restriction.
That feels a lot deeper than it was.
Yes, yes. So this specifically is that specific sound is like the spirit box sound. It's the death metal band.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you. So that little scratch in your throat, that's good.
Okay. Okay.
That's where the growl comes from, right?
Okay.
But the safety part of it comes from recognizing where the sound comes from and where the power comes from. It doesn't come from your throat. It comes from the air that your diaphragm and your chest.
Okay. I sound like a little kid trying to like do their business.
So how about this then? How about since you're like,
yeah, I want to go higher.
This is you. So then this is the sound that you would use to do a higher scream. Higher.
So that would be like sick.
Yeah.
Like I'm so sick.
I will break.
But see, I still sound like a little like kid who's like screaming. So like I'm wondering how I can open up that sound and make it a little bit more like deep. Because like break. I mean, I sound like a little child. So break. Is it
So the thing that I told Joliet, and when I tell people about screaming just in general, is don't sing it. You're not singing notes.
You're screaming it.
You're screaming it, right? But altogether, it's just a different sound, right? So don't sing the note. The note isn't break. You know, this isn't like a Trix commercial.
Yeah.
Break for cereal.
Because that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's a completely different sound. So you want to yell it. So have you ever actually just yelled?
I think so. In my
think
life?
so?
In my life?
In your life.
Yeah.
Like your boyfriend just pissed you. Your boyfriend, girlfriend just pissed you off.
I'm so sorry. I'm getting a sound alert. Do you hear that? You don't hear it, do you? This is all in my head. Great. This is awesome. Anyway, Decibel.
Toad? Oh no.
Yeah,
I can only imagine.
Decibel just played my Toad voice for everybody to hear. to show everybody that I do know how to scream. What an alert, says Kev. And I will say, Dan, yes, the back of my throat does kind of feel like a cheese grater. That's actually the right feeling, apparently.
Yes. So that cheese grater sound is where the technique or where the sound comes from, right? But like what I said earlier, right, where the safer way to practice screaming now is different than what it was like 20 years ago, when Flyleaf came out.
Yeah.
Is back then everyone did it because they thought it came from the throat.
Yeah.
And that's why they all screamed like that. They all screamed like that because all their technique came from throat.
Uh-huh.
And now 20 years later we realize, oh no. The volume, the aggressiveness comes from how much air you put behind it.
Yeah.
And the sound just comes from the technique in the throat.
That
right?
makes sense.
So very famously, Chino Morales is the singer for Deftones, and he's had surgery on his throat like 4 times because he started screaming when in the 90s, and there was no classes, there was no technique, no one teaching you how to do things. He was like, oh, I make this sound and I'm going to go forward with this, and that's just what he knows. Right?
Keep in mind, Julie Andrews also had to get vocal surgery. It happens in all genres.
Exactly. And the way that they were making the sound, even though it sounded, some people did it really great, they were doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm. They just weren't putting the air behind it so that it could have the support and movement, and the constriction was happening too thickly through the process so that it was creating that permanent damage.
So an example of this is, I'll do it for you. So screaming now right, is like this, right? The most common screaming is like a false chord now,
Hmm.
because it's pretty much just yelling with a little bit of like rock and roll grit on it, right? So it's like, hey, hey, I'm up here. This would count as screaming. No, right?
Yeah, you
So
sound like Lemon Grab.
right, yeah. You know, or like Bring Me the Horizon type of thing,
Well,
right?
and I've never been able to do a lemon grab sound, so can I try to attempt a lemon grab? Can you tell me how you're doing that lemon grab?
Like it's easier with higher notes.
Give me a high note. That's
So
I
like
want high notes.
so like right up here.
Are you doing
And
that on
then
full belt?
that's like a mid belt.
Okay. Okay.
It's a mid belt. So like it only sounds loud because it's high, right?
Yeah.
So and then when you want to get that into like a false chord, you do so
And
a
you
little bit of yeah,
constricted. So,
yeah, a little bit of constricted. Yes.
Okay. Now.
Okay.
See, the compression goes in and out. There, it stayed on there that time.
Right, but you're doing a character voice.
Damn it!
You're doing a character. You're going. You're not doing this. Right. You're doing. So.
I'm putting that nasal filter in there.
Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm trying to keep that
Right.
nasal filter out.
Right. And so now try to do it like a rock and roll song, like yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Your character voicing. Your character voicing.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is what I was getting into before, right? Is have you ever actually yelled, right?
Okay.
So
give me a sentence to yell, and I will do it.
So okay, I don't mean yelling as like a hey, what are you doing? I mean like a hey, what are you doing? Type of thing, right? Like you're dying type of thing, right? So you're comfortable with how you feel doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where you got to start, right? So,
Okay.
ah,
Hey, what are you doing?
right.
Huh?
Now, how did that feel? Did that hurt?
No, but it does feel like the cheese grater thing does happen in the back of the voice.
Yeah.
Hey! Hey!
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that, and that moves forward always.
Yeah.
Hey! Hey! Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So try to do that again. And instead of cutting it, when you hit that cheese grater sound, just try to hold it just like a second or two.
Hey!
Character voice.
Hey! Hey, what are you doing? Ooh,
That's
that
it.
last part felt good.
That was exactly it.
Holy f- Sorry, I get one. It's PG-13.
That was good. That's it.
That felt good. That felt
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
wow, that felt right. Oh.
Yes. Yes. So
Oh.
that feeling, right? When
I've
you get
never
better
made
with-
that sound, Calvin.
No, that's the point. That's exactly why I asked you to do it. Right? So
Ooh.
as you get into it and do it more, right? You can just easily just catch that sound, right?
Yes.
And without having to force it, right?
Bro,
'Cause
that
every
was
ti-
so weird.
So every time, like, you know, metal vocalists, we record full albums. We do 5 shows a week. You know what I mean? And you got to do that over and over and over and over. right? And so you can't scream like that every single night. So it's all about feeling it, feeling it where it comes from, and then just applying the same technique. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be done a certain way. It's just that same tone. It's just the technique.
And the reason why I know that it's not something that's actually permanently ruining my voice is because right after I do it, I can still talk normally.
Yes.
And that is another litmus test that I always kind of think of when I'm doing really complex vocal techniques is when right after I do it, if I feel like I'm talking like this and my larynx feels compressed, that tells me that something has been compressed too far. And that kept moving.
Allowing the air to just come out.
Yeah, and it's almost like it's bubbling. Like it's you know what it is? It's like the oscillating of the chords, but happening with the fleshy parts that surround it and not the actual chords. And then the phlegm, if you're feeling phlegm while you're trying this out at home, like me too, because there's so much movement. Like like your chords are literally being like shaken. Yeah. So that's what it feels like.
Yeah. And so that's also natural too, because your body's initial reaction to your throat and your mouth drying out is to provide more saliva.
Yeah.
So that's just natural. It's just your body just reacting to it. Let's
so
try it.
First of all, let's go. I want to hear your ideas on what she's doing when she says the word break in I'm So Sick. Is that something that you feel like is a sound that is in the larger breadth of metal singing, or is that kind of an outdated sound that maybe isn't as desirable?
So a lot of people don't know this about metal vocals. Just like pop vocals, they're heavily processed.
Heck yeah.
Heavily processed.
Heck yeah.
And so a lot of people think that there are obviously there are some musicians who can just do it right every single time.
We hate those people. I'm kidding.
And we hate them. They do it right every single time, and they do it. And then when they do it, it fits perfectly into whatever track that they're doing. That there's very little processing on it. But majority of the time, when you listen to your favorite singers, they're doubling up on choruses, meaning that they're singing the chorus twice, so it sounds better. They're taking 2 takes to do double up on a chorus because it gives it a different sound than just a regular same notes doubled twice. Their metal vocals are doubled up too, so it sounds fuller. They're doing screaming harmonies, like a high, a mid, and a low, so it has a different complex sound to it. So that break at the beginning of Flyleaf is very processed. It's very, very processed.
That's good to know. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, let's listen to the beginning of this. I will break. So that sound is heavily distorted and heavily changed. The break.
The screaming on that break is so compressed. If you were to play it one more time, if you were to play it one more time, you could hear it. It's compressed, and it sounds like they add like an actual distortion to it. It's so compressed. There's distortion on it. And it's made to sound a lot more gravelier than the actual sound that she makes. Right. And that's by design. Right. So, but to
sound
get
like a
that
minion.
I will. And then when she goes into the break, it's going to be the same concept of finding the cheese grater and forcing the note to. It's almost like you're going to sing a high note, right? But you don't overemphasize the cheese grater. So I will break. You're getting the cheese grater. It's gonna feel weird. You're probably gonna cough. It's probably gonna feel weird in your throat, right? But it's up and out. Break.
Can you give me the I will isolated?
Yeah. I will. Removing yourself from every technique that you've ever learned in your entire life. Okay? And just I will.
Try
Try punching.
I will.
I will.
I will. I will.
One punch.
Yeah.
One
I
punch.
will. I will. Yeah, that
Do you
feels
feel
better.
the difference?
Yeah.
You feel the difference?
Yeah.
So-
Mm-hmm.
I will. I will.
Now give me the whole thing. I will break.
I will break.
I will break. I will break. Yeah.
You're getting there. You're getting there. You're getting there. You have the right like intention. Okay. This entire genre of singing, alternative singing, is all chest. It's all of it. I will break.
You're putting like a break. You're also putting like a vowel shape that's more rounded and then going break, which makes it sound so neat because it's like moving the sound.
Yes. So that is because what I'm doing is I'm going bray, bray,
Break! 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 That feels good.
That was good. That was good.
I like the bruh because that like moves something forward for me. I like that.
Going from singing, talking regular voice into and doing a quick reset and finding the scream and then pushing the scream out. Right? That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, I will break. And so you're like, I will break. Right?
So it's like I will reset. I will pull. I will
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will break.
Good.
That
Now
felt
all
deeper.
you need to do is catch the end of that, and you only use the end of that. The whole startup that you did was good, but that startup is what we need to lose.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay.
You feel it?
I will break.
Try it slower, right? So try doing a I will break, 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 break.
I will break, 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 break.
Do you feel the difference between the very last thing and the first thing you did?
Yes. The last thing felt like the cheese grater that cheese grater feeling in the back of the throat was so prominent that it moved even through my nose.
Yeah. The reason why it was good that you picked these two songs, because this song is like the caveman drawings on the wall, right?
Yeah.
And then when we get into Spirit Box, that's like
the synthesis of
Renaissance.
everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Renaissance. So here, right? Break! I will break!
I will break! I heard it towards the end where it just feels like it moves more.
Right. No, and that's good. That's good that you're falling into it, right?
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, you just started.
I will break!
That was so much better.
Yeah, because I dropped into it.
Yes. Right. So you can do, I will break! And people were like, oh, what do you say? Oh, break. I looked it up. You know what I mean? No one cares. Right. But
You're
if
an
you
instrument.
want that, yeah, exactly. If you want that break to be emphasized, then you can. I will break!
And then you put the K and then you put a plosive consonant on it and it's fine. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
I will break! No. I will break! Break! Damn.
So what you're doing right now is what we call in like death metal witchy highs.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And
Yes.
it sounds like a demonic kind of scream.
Yes. Right. That's what you're doing right now. You're doing it naturally because you haven't found your regular yelling voice, right? That the technique you're doing is forgive the name, but there's a band called Infant Annihilator.
Incredible.
And and they're famous because and in that genre because they do really high pitched like witchy, we call them witchy sounds. So they right, which is like a totally different technique, right?
Is that similar to the pig squeal sounding that you hear in like Lorna Shore?
So the pig squeal growling in Lorna Shore is a evolution of old school pig squealing. Old school pig squealing uses a technique called inhale screams, which you
What?
you should never do, um, because they're awful for you. A lot of musicians, Chino Moreno, have gotten vocal like cord surgeries because they use inhales too much, and they you do it too much, you're literally going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
But the new pig squealing, Lorna Shore's pig squealing, uses the same technique that we're doing, the right, and then finding it like there, and then
In the back.
obviously practicing and finding it and how to do the make it a higher pitch squeal.
Mhm.
But now people do a pig squeal where they literally just make like a high pitch like pig sound, like right, where it's
Mhm.
exhaled and it's you making a funny voice going right,
Mhm.
literally you're just doing that but going type of
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm. Mhm. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So
Yeah, this break, I get what it's doing. I get the function of it. Let's go into some spirit box.
let's do it.
Let's do some Renaissance.
Cut down the altar.
Deepest fake, dirty.
So when I hear her vocals, I just played the very beginning of her verse, but it's
Yeah.
cut down the altar and then the very beginning of the verse. What I hear, I'm not hearing Hayley Williams. I'm hearing a
Right.
pop princess vocal that has a lot of breathiness on it.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes. She doesn't do a lot of singing into screaming. Her singing and screaming parts are very sectioned.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's good because because it's doing the singing and the screaming type thing like right into one another. It's hard. It's very tiring. And you're using different vocal techniques to do the singing and to do the screaming.
Yeah.
So
So as you see her doing this, what's kind of interesting in this recording here is she actually kind of has some whine cry sounds in between.
yeah, yeah, yes, and that's like a thing that we've been doing in screaming for like 20 plus years now, right? What are the lyrics? She does.
I held the power of a dying sun. I
she goes,
claimed the altar.
I held the power of the.
It's almost like
right?
Krusty the Clown. But of course I put a
Yeah.
nasal filter on it because that's me.
Right. I held the power of the dying.
It's almost Christopher Walken too.
Yeah, I held the power
Of a
you know-
dying sun. And I take my
So-
place as God.
So yeah. So that is a showcase of
Her talent.
doing the yelling because of the talent and of the technique itself, right?
Mhm.
Because what she could have done is I have the power of a dying sun, right?
But it goes so much deeper. It's like she goes to like a circular sound and then like flattens it out. Ah.
Right. It's because she's doing the technique. She could if she did that without the cheese grater, that's what it would sound like. I have the power of a dying, right?
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what I was trying to get you with the yelling.
Yeah.
Getting used to how you sound with just a yell, right? So then if you add the technique, I have the power. I have the power. Right?
Golly.
It's the It's just a release of the technique. It's not anything. It's not like it's doing something that's like special. She's activating the technique and then pulling the technique away. And coincidentally, it gives a sound.
Yeah.
It's just a coincidence that it does that. So
I'm trying to just relax into it, like not force
Yes.
it down.
yes.
Ah! 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 Ah!
Yeah. Yes. What are your thoughts?
It's a lot of pressure on my noggin.
Yes. At first, when you're getting used to the sound, right, you're gonna feel it in here because like, I'm just forcing everything up. I'm tensing my neck. I'm doing all this shit, right? I'm just having a normal day.
That felt good towards the end.
Yes, just hanging out. This is me.
This is
the
me.
this is the technique. I'm just hanging out. Having
Just
a good
hanging
day.
out. Another day in paradise.
That's perfect. That was it.
Everything.
That was literally it.
Everything needs to be relaxed except for the cheese grater.
Yes. That was perfect. Literally, that paradise was so good.
I know. Yeah, it was paradise. That's what it was.
Just another day in paradise.
And it feels like bubbles of air, pockets of air that's moving.
Yeah, and it's because they're hitting, and you're just slowly letting the air out. It's just that you are applying the resistance to the air coming out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
it's kind of crazy how much relaxation I feel when it's the optimal sound.
Yes, when it's the optimal sound, it should just flow out. You don't force it.
I mean, that's so true in anything, in any singing, right? It should just fall out of your mouth like butter.
You would think. You don't know. The sun was right.
Sun! I have the power of a dying sun! I climb the altar and I claim my place as God!
That God was amazing.
Yeah!
That was really good.
Yeah, but because it's the and it's the relaxation of it that gets me there. Yes.
So the God was great, right? But well, if you listen to the God part, she goes, "I climb the altar and I claim my places, God, God." She goes into a lower God. Right, she's just moving up and down the screaming scale.
I think that's why it's easier for me to do God, is because I hear how low and deeply pitched that she's doing it, that I'm trying to imitate it, and my imitation of it is actually like the bass for the metal sound rather than the depressed, more circular, lower sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Feels forced.
So that last sound is what you should start with, and then when you get to God, it should be even lower than that.
God, I have the power of a dying sun. I climb the altar and I claim my place as God.
That was great. Sun and God, perfect. I think you're focusing too much on the words.
I am. Yeah. I like to tell a story. I think the lyrics are cool.
I think you're focusing too much on the words. Yes, that.
I have the power of a dying sun! I climb the altar and I claim my place as God!
That was fantastic. Really good. Really, really good.
I'm gonna try to do it with I'm gonna try to do that section with the backtrack and see how terrible it sounds. I have the power of a dying sun! I climb the altar and I claim my place as God! Damn it! Circle with me!
I think what Decibel said, you were too tense trying to get it out at first, but the second line was good, right?
Yeah, because that's when I relaxed.
You're focusing on the words.
I know!
You're focusing on the words.
So good.
So yeah, and so the low part of hers is her. She's doing, but then at the end she goes, she's actually making it lower, like she's going to a low voice. No, hey, 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 hey.
Ah! Ah! Huh?
Yeah,
Ah! No, I'm still picking up that noise.
right.
I have the power of a dying sun! Sun felt better.
That sun, that is what you should be doing the whole way.
Sun! I have the power of a dying sun!
Right. And so now what you want to do is,
Yeah?
more.
I have the power of a dying sun! I climb the altar and I claim my place as God!
What you're doing is you're screaming the whole way.
Ah.
You're going, I have the power of a dying sun! Right? It's, I have the power! I have the power of a...
I have the power! I have the power!
Try yelling it without screaming.
I have the power of a dying sun!
You're screaming.
I have the power of a dying sun! If you feel a cheese grater on the throat, then it's right.
It's a yodel. If you want to be specific about it, it's a yodel.
Yeah,
right?
God is where I need to start. Like that's like the place I need to start it.
That's exactly what I've been saying.
Because it is me making fun of the sound.
Exactly.
When the movement is moving forward, and I know what it feels like when it's sticking in the throat. And when I put it with the accompaniment, it's so fast, and the switches happen so fast that I can't replicate it.
Right. Try. Are you watching it on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm just doing the instrumental on YouTube.
Go to the settings on the YouTube and
You
then
son of a bitch.
click the playback speed to like
You smart.
0.75 or
Yeah.
8.5.
Let's try it out. God! 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 I have the power of a dying sun! No. I climb the altar and I claim my place as God! Towards the end, I only got to the right spot at the very end of God. That's where it felt like it was moving, but otherwise, it's so hard for me to carve out that low place.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
You from the start of this till now, much better from how you started to your, and it's only been what, an hour?
Yeah. If you feel a cheese grater on the throat, then it's right.